Welcome to the demo of the 25D feature. View production transaction history using a new user experience in Oracle Fusion Cloud Manufacturing. With this feature, you can now use the new Redwood interface to easily view your production transaction history. Transactions are neatly organized into categories like work orders, flow schedules, and orderless executions, making it simple to find what you need. Plus, improved search options with keywords and filters make getting to the right data even easier. This gives you quicker, simpler access to production history and much better traceability. Now, let's walk through a short demo of this feature. First, we will launch the Production Transaction History Redwood user interface. We will view the work orders transaction history. Next, we will search transactions using keywords and filters. We will then show and hide the columns in the transaction table. Next, we will create a saved search. We will then perform some actions on the transactions and export the transactions to an Excel file. Lastly, we will navigate to flow schedule and orderless transactions. To launch Production Transaction History Redwood User Interface. In the Supply Chain Execution functional area, click on Work Execution. Work Execution Overview page is launched. You can select the organization if needed. Click on View All Actions to open Actions drawer. Now select Production Transaction History under Execute Production. This launches Production Transaction History Redwood User Interface. By default, Work Orders tab is selected, which displays process and discrete production transactions. The transactions are shown based on default search filters of past 1 week date range. Now, let's see how to search transactions using keywords and filters. To search using keywords, enter M1 as the keyword to search. You can see that the work order number that contains M1 are shown in the search results. Similarly, you can perform a keyword search using the item serial number and lot number. Next, let's search using the filter chips. By default, a date range filter of past 7 days is applied. Select Transaction Type Filter Chip to list all the transaction types based on which transactions can be filtered. Select Material Issue and Operation Completion from the list. This lets you view all transactions of the types Operation Completion and Material Issue in the transactions table that were reported in the past 7 days. In the same way, you can also filter transactions by date range, item number, or work order. Let's take a closer look at the date range filter. When you view transactions spanning over 7 days, you need to apply 2 filters. For transactions covering more than 30 days, 3 filters must be selected. The date range filter cannot be removed unless a work order filter is applied. Now, let's see how this works in practice. Try selecting a date range longer than 7 days and observe that an additional filter selection becomes necessary. On selection of 2 filters, the transaction history for a date range more than 7 days and less than 30 days is displayed. Now try selecting a date range of more than 30 days. Notice that this requires you to select 2 additional filters apart from the date range. On selection of 2 additional filters, the transaction history for a date range more than 30 days is displayed. Now, select a work order from the work order filter. Notice that the date range filter can now be removed. This lets you view all transactions for the selected work order across the entire date range. You can view additional filters by clicking on the Filter button. This lets you to filter the transactions additionally by work center, workstation, work method, project, and task. Now, let's take a look at how to customize the transaction table so you can show or hide the columns you need. Click on the Customize Columns button on the right. This shows the full list of columns that you can choose to show or hide. Type W to find all columns that begin with the letter W. Select Column Work Method and close the Columns window. The Transactions table now displays the Work Method column. Next, let us see how to save commonly used searches. Select the Date Range filter for 1 week and the Transaction Type filter as Material Issue, then click the Saved Searches icon. This opens the Saved Searches drawer. Click the plus icon to create a new saved search. Enter Material Issue Transactions for the saved search name and click Save and Apply. Material Issue Transaction saved search is created, which you can use later to quickly run the same search selection. Let's perform some actions on the transactions now. Select a transaction and click on the Actions button. Notice this allows you to view additional information, inspection results and operational parameters. Click on Additional Information to view descriptive flex fields. Select Operational Parameters action to open a drawer that displays a list of operational parameters, along with their corresponding values captured during execution. And select Inspection Results action to view inspection results page. The page displays the details of the inspection performed at the time of execution. Now, we'll go over the Export feature. To export the transactions, just click the Export icon. This exports the transactions into an Excel file and downloads it to your local folder, making it available for offline viewing. Now, let's see how to view the Flow Schedule transaction history. Click on the Flow Schedule tab to view all Flow Schedule transactions. Similar to work orders, you can search transactions using keywords and filters. You also have the option to show or hide specific columns, save frequently used searches, perform actions, and export the transactions. Lastly, let's go over how to view the Borderless transaction history. Click the Borderless tab to see all orderless transactions. And as with work orders and flow schedules, you can search using keywords and filters, show or hide columns, save searches, perform actions, and export the transactions. And this concludes this demo. In short, the new Redwood interface lets you view your production transaction history at a glance, organized into work orders, flow schedules, and orderless executions. With powerful search options, keyword filters, and saved searches, it's easier than ever to find exactly what you need. Plus, you can show or hide columns to keep the data relevant to your work. All of this means faster access to production history and much better traceability. For more information on this feature and on the setup required to enable this feature, refer to Manufacturing 25D. What's new? View production transaction history using a new user experience. This concludes the demo. Thanks for watching.